punched button.
Punch button?
I punched button. Apparently button has been punched. Alright, let me see if... Oh, look, there's something on Twitch. Yay!
Yay!
Alright, let me do an ad here. All right, chat room, let us know when you can see and hear us.
If you're out there, if not, that's okay. We skipped a few
talk
sessions.
To ourselves. We're used to
Yeah.
it.
We're used to it. We're only children. We're only children.
All right.
Yay,
Seema's out there. Yay.
Lucy.
All right. I just
Y'all,
want to know what level of fake spring / second, third winter Seema's in.
It's all of them. 17th.
Oh, and you're leading this show. All right.
I am leading the show. All right. So, am I ready?
Yeah. I don't know. Are you ready?
Yeah. Okay.
We're good.
Going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On this episode of the AIE Podcast.
We promise we are not pod fading.
Are you a world builder?
Wow, 10.2.6 is this week.
And we are in a new galactic season.
And we are also talking to ourselves.
Talking to ourselves. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't sing. I forgot. There's somewhere in my contract that says Makala does not sing. All right. All that and more coming up now.
Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community
from planet Earth and beyond.
This is the AIE Podcast.
Welcome to episode 418 of the podcast celebrating you, the Alea Octa S gaming community. The Die Has Been Podcast. I am Makala, and to my left, downstairs, and over a bit is Tetsemi.
Hi, how to podcast?
I think you have a spreadsheet for that, my love. And we are muteless this evening as he is recovering from vacation and a kiddo's birthday and dinner and all of that. But we figured we should probably get a show out so no one thinks we're pod fading. We definitely have a lot of news to catch up on, and honestly, we just missed you folks.
Absolutely. Oh, and
yes.
Happy St. Patrick's Day if you celebrate.
Yes, the house currently smells like corned beef, and I think it's going to start smelling like soda bread in a few minutes, which is great unless you don't eat corned beef.
I'll let you know how good it is.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's going to be delicious. I can smell it. All right. So, we're going to go ahead and just chat about what we've been up to, where we've been, and all that great stuff, and then we'll get to the news. So, Dad, what have you been up to?
Digital gaming, all cyberpunk all the time.
I can confess. Yep. That's definitely what I see.
I am going through, I did Nomad and completed that and took the El Ducado ending, which I was happy with for that. And now I'm doing a Street Kid playthrough. And I've made this more of a what's out there to do. So I've done many things. We've done the car reacquisition for one of the fixers, and he rewards you with a really nice all-wheel drive vehicle armed with machine guns, so it's a sports car with machine guns. It drives really well. That's always fun.
All right. That sounds like the most cyberpunk thing ever.
Yeah, I've done all the NCPD hustles, which is there's a scanner and it says, hey, an event's happening here. and you go in and collect the evidence and do all that. And then I've done all the fixer quests for everyone except Mr. Hands in Dogtown. I'm 8 of 10 and missing 2 of them because I haven't advanced the story yet. And I'm just now finished breaking into the Arasaka, basically their holding area, and hacking one of the floats. So, yeah, so we're having fun with that, and I don't know which ending I'm going for on that. I'm still deciding, but
Is it the happy one?
there is no
Sorry.
Cyberpunk. There is no happy
It's
one.
no happy ending.
There's the least worst one, and then
And then the most emo ending of all time. Got it.
pretty much, yeah. I mean, I mean, you can just literally give up, and
Yeah.
that is an ending.
All right. Yeah, that's not a good ending, but it's an ending.
And most of them are trying to go out in a blaze of glory, but not go out, just blaze of glory and survive. So, but there is no cure for what you have, except for one ending, and it's not a good ending either. So, yeah, we won't spoil things, even though it's been out a few years. It's fun. Explore it. Have fun with it. In pen and paper, things have been happening. A lot of things have been happening. I will let you cover Call of Cthulhu because that seems to be targeted at you, let's say.
I love our keeper / yeah. Some days things feel very targeted.
I know. In our Wild Beyond the Witchlight, we have made it through chapter 1 of the adventure. We're not going to spoil anything because there's a lot of different ways you can get through it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So telling you like, oh, we did this, and some other group goes, oh, we never ran into that. So there's a replayability. So we don't want to spoil anything, but we got through chapter 1, and we are just heading into the Feywild this evening. And so we are following, basically the same rules you use now to detect AI images you use for dealing with the Fey. Check the teeth, check the fingers, check the shadows.
Yep, absolutely.
Don't say thank you because you're incurring a debt, and don't ever give your real name out. So yeah, there's a lot
absolutely. Hey, I'm gonna be good at that one.
Yeah, Silk is not.
Yeah,
we have a overly chatty bard, and I think it's gonna turn into the bad place for her
real soon.
And then in our Star Wars game, we are planning. We're planning a heist, but before the heist, we have to do a pod race, and so we're laying the groundwork for sabotaging the pod race so we win. So we have the money so we can pull off the heist. If I
Listen, I can tell you the thing with a pen and paper Star Wars campaign is you have to have a pilot. Unless you're playing a game where you have an agreement that you're not going to do anything piloting wise at all, you have to have a pilot. The problem with the pilot is they are not useful 95% of the time. So we need to make sure our pilot can have a pod break. Right, exactly. You have to have those skills.
Yep.
So I love the fact that our Targuda pilot gets to have some fun.
Yes. And our gank assassin is dealing with all kinds of crazy maneuvers to be able to intimidate but not actually fire upon the pod racers to make sure we win.
That is against the rules.
That's against the rules. By the way, it is not in Cyberpunk 2077. When you're doing the street racing, taking out the other 5 competitors is perfectly legal. So the faster you can actually take out their cars through whatever methods, the easier it is to win the race. So,
great.
Yeah, that's especially because this time through my Netrunner skills, I took the one that allow you to affect vehicles. And so you can slam on the emergency brakes, you can slam on the gas pedal, you can take control of their car, and you can also cause it to self-destruct.
Nice.
So there's been a few races where 2 or 3 of the racers never made it out of the starting area.
Fabulous.
I mean, if you're gonna play, you're gonna play by the rules, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah. And the rules are
yeah,
are no rules.
exactly. But my Jedi Shadow, basically think Jedi Rogue, if you want D&D terms.
That's absolutely
It's
what
the
it
rogue of
is.
the party. Um, is oddly having moral quandary about what we're doing and trying to figure out how it fits into their worldview. So that will be fun. A kind of self-inflicted conflict, as we really haven't had conflict in this game, which we'll get to
Some.
in that Star Wars game, because good
Oh
lord,
my
the amount of conflict in
god.
that game.
Oh my god.
Um,
The dice hate me.
I know. And then in our pen and paper D&D game that we're playing with real life friends in here, like at the
Including
house.
also including a few AIE members, yes.
Yes, including Dan Kenyon, husband, and yes, and we're having a lot of fun doing that. We started out on a packaged adventure, and then our DM has gotten creative and rewritten a lot of stuff, and we're now going through an old dwarven mine, dealing with wild magic that affects people differently. And yeah, it's a lot of D100 rolls to see what happens when you do something. So we're looking forward to having fun.
A lot of
with that.
wisdom saves to see if you have a bad memory. You know,
the usual,
the normal.
Speaking of bad memories, how's Call of Cthulhu going?
Great. All right. So a while back, I said that my character had joined the Dirty 30 Club. Dirty 30 means that you died, and as long as you have 30 luck, you can survive this.
Yeah.
Yep. You can survive it.
And this is a D100 system, just FYI.
Yes. So yeah, I got bit by a ghoul, died, brought back, recovered. I seem to recover very quickly, very well. Like the next morning, miraculously, the next morning they came to check on me, and yeah, I'm out of my 19 hit points. I had 14 of those back when I had been at 0 the day before. Great.
And there's no clerical healing. There's
clerical. There's medical healing.
Yeah, you rest and get like 1 to 2 hit points back.
Right. Or you go to a doctor. You can get up to 6 hit points back if they're really good. But yeah, there's my character's healing real well. Great, amazing.
How was breakfast?
Oh, breakfast was delight. Oh wait, no, she threw that up. And then as they're patching the butcher, that smelled great. And what smelled great was the intestines. The awful.
Mm-hmm.
My character is a real sweet and proper girl from Boston in the 1890s. Really rich girl. So, she's been whining about not getting tea this entire adventure, and now she wants to eat awful. Mm-hmm. Spoiler, she's turning into a ghoul. So, and this is all against the backdrop of we have to stop a vampire, reigning in terror across the entire town, which, by the way, he's helped create and nurture and foster, and good times. So yeah, she's turning into a ghoul. We find, searching through the book, because Call of Cthulhu, your characters are really either drinking or at the library.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much that's the subplot of Call of Cthulhu. If you get
into a fight, then they're either alive or dead. There's no other, one of the two.
Yep. So you're drinking because whatever you saw, you're in the library trying to figure out what the heck you saw, or you're making spot hiddens to see if you saw what you saw, and sometimes you go crazy because of it. Mm-hmm. In any case, so we had access to the books. We found a very long ritual on how to stop somebody from turning into a ghoul, but it only works for a very short period of time, because once you're a ghoul, if you eat a dead body, you are now permanently a ghoul, and it's a very short time period. So we go through, we find all the parts of the ritual, which yes, you have no idea what's happening. Hi, OMF. have to get mandrake, have to get wormwood,
Oh, think
have to
Harry
get
Potter Mandrake, like
mandrake.
screaming
Exactly.
Mandrake.
Yeah. Yep. Um, have to get. There was an easy one. I can't. There was one easy one that we could get simply.
So yeah, we had to get the wormwood. We had
Wolfbane.
Wolfsbane, yeah.
Wolfbane. They had the bile duct of a ghoul,
That you had to
and
harvest.
I had to harvest, and 3 tears from a vampire given willingly.
No, 3 drops of blood.
Yes. Well, yes. Also, because she is going insane, one of our companions now thinks she's a vampire. She's like, okay, I'll give you the blood. Yeah, honey, you're crazy. That's not how this works. Luckily, there is a fledgling vampire who's trying to struggle against their condition. Oh, my little bubba. So she actually went to kind of attacked us, and we kind of calmed her down and were able to tell her, no, we're trying to stop the Baron. Got the blood from her. So yeah, so we did the ritual. And even though I can't roll my highest skill worth anything, which was needed to do the ritual, I had to spend luck. By the way, I just got back up to 30 and then had to spend it down to do the ritual.
Yes.
We did it. So the title of last game's session was hopefully my ex-girlfriend.
Yes. And the time before that was when we went to go harvest the mandrake. We had to have a goat go with us to help figure out where the mandrake was.
Yes.
And the goat had to be the closest thing to the mandrake when we harvested it. So basically ended up killing the goat. And of course, you don't want to throw away a perfectly good goat or just leave it there. That's disrespectful. So my character carried it around for a while. And then when we fought the ghouls in the graveyard, one ran into a cave, and so the last thing we did as we were leaving, my character threw the goat into the cave, and it became the escape goat.
Yeah, good times. So that's a short roundup, well, at least from what's going on with my character in Call of Cthulhu. Star Wars. Guys, dice hate me.
Mm-hmm.
At least those dice.
The morality
that character.
dice hate you.
The morality dice. So we are on a planet in the unknown region, which we stole an Imperial shuttle to get to, and then used the Imperial hypergate to get there. Shot down a bunch of TIE fighters on the way. That was fun. One got away, but they crashed. Saved the pilot, trying to figure out what the pilot knows. Oh no, they hadn't gotten briefed yet to go to this region but they were told to pursue us. So yeah, now we're traipsing through a jungle, playing hot. Let's hide from the Imperial forces there. By the way, my character's wife has now completely fallen to the dark side, out of her own hubris sometimes. And well, with the rules as written in the Star Wars Fantasy Flight game RPG, your baseline, which is out of a 1d10, is 5 for morality if you are consorting with a dark side user, and we all are. So, every session we roll for morality. Now, my character is the person that will try to talk somebody out of killing people or necessary. Has insisted we save multiple people. We saved two Imperial pilots from a crash site. 2 more Imperial pilots from a crash site. There was a shuttle coming to rescue them. One of our team members was like, no, we should take over the shuttle. Steal that so we have waiting on the planet around the planet. And she's like, no, if we do that, these 2 are going to die. They need immediate medical attention in a facility. I can't give that. Talks them down. So we roll morality at the end of the session. Baseline's 5. The player who was all for let's go ahead and steal the shuttle they get the double, which is great or bad. They get the double. And then they roll a 9, so they get 4. It's doubled. It's 8. Awesome. My character, who tried to talk everybody out of doing stuff bad, tried to save people. She rolled a 5. I don't know what it is with this character and this system. I cannot win. But sometimes the dice tell you the story they want to tell you.
Exactly.
Other fun real life news? Guys, I saw Chopper.
You did?
Oh, I guess we should probably tell people why we were gone too. So a month ago now, our kiddo and I went to Disneyland, had a great time. My highlight was the last day. Our kiddo had gone back gone to lay down. I was gonna follow closely, but I needed to do some shopping around. I'm walking through Batu, and who is there but everyone's favorite war criminal? So that was amazing. And the reason that we kind of were out for a few weeks is so the day after we got back, Tet and I had the pleasure of going to our friend's closing matinee of the play Something Rotten. Our friend who had not been on the stage in many years, he had the role of Nostradamus. His boyfriend is a musical director of the show. And he and our friend asked everyone to be there because he was going to propose. So we went to a play and a proposal broke out. And we didn't realize that Something Rotten is a 3-hour show. So yeah, play starts at 2, show started at 6 o'clock our time. Obviously, we were not making it back. And then 2 weeks ago, we went to the Renaissance Festival.
Yes.
That is anything else you can think of we need to update people on?
No, because you've told them what's in the guild kitchen, and it's yummy.
It's corned beef, and it's soda bread, and I'm making croissants for work on Tuesday.
Absolutely.
And I think some basil lime shortbread, too, but that's a whole different story. All right, so we should probably get to this week's news and all the other good stuff.
AIE News.
All right. In mandatory fun night, since we haven't done this in a month or so, Sunday, guess what? Y'all get today off. Monday.
No, we don't. And we're here.
Guild Wars 2, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Also STO at 10 p.m. Eastern. SOTOR, speaking of Star Wars, at 9 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday. Wednesday, HFO Mythic plus Mayhem at 8 p.m. Eastern in Retail WoW. And Thursday, Board Game Night, first and third Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. On Friday, we have ESO at 9 p.m. Eastern and Final Fantasy XIV, the Magical Miscellaneous Tour, also at 9 p.m. Eastern. And Saturday's booked. Lord of the Rings Online, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Final Fantasy XIV Map Night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. WoW Classic Hardcore at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And New Braid and WoW Retail at 11 p.m. Eastern.
Hey, Max would like to give us some late-breaking news, which is Sunday night is now the new Destiny Fun Night. We'll need to get that on the schedule.
Yes. Also, it would help if Marcus would respond when I ask him for podcast news to know that.
Yes. All right, Marcus. All
Okay.
right. And speaking of Marcus, we have a Guild podcast news. We have lots of AIE member podcasts. Want to know where to find them? Look no further than here. Speaking of Max and Seema, New Overlords podcast with Max and Seema. You can find them at newoverlords.com. Working Class Nerds, Marcus and Nick, Not Safe for Life. Working Class Nerds, com.wordpress.com. Boards and Swords with Chris and Philip, boardsandswords.com. Gameology with Dr. Daniel Kaufman, drgameology.com. STO Fleet Action Report with Grebob and Nicodemus. Look for them on YouTube. Look for Fleet Action Report. A podcast Reborn, a Final Fantasy XIV community podcast with Brandon, aka Old Man Franks, Megan and Roe, also Not Safe for Life. Brother, what are you podcasting?
Oh, so
Look,
they're in the middle of the husbando and waifu wars. They finished up
oh, all right.
the first part of the husbando division last week, and they did the waifu, one of the or two of the waifu divisions this week. So, yeah.
Definitely not safe for life. All right, we'll find them on bonusroll.gd /directory /a -podcast -reborn /
Yeah. And in Nomad's news, the Bitcraft Alpha is going live on April 4th. It's a multiplayer, open world, survival / exploration type game. No invites have gone out yet, but there's a sign up that's going on. Basically, it's a little bit gamified. You get points for doing quests, and the quests are connect up your social media to their social media, invite friends, that sort of thing. So, Max feels it's a little bit gamified, but you know what? You got to try something new to get people interested in your games because there are so many games out there right
Yes.
now. Besides the ongoing fun stuff in Rust, Pal World, and Ark, there'll be some single-player RPGs coming out next week that people may want to chat about. Horizon Forbidden West is finally hitting Steam on the 21st, and Dragon's Dogma 2 is also looking interesting. And for those that don't know, I think the Steam Spring Sale is still going on. If you want to play the predecessor to Forbidden West, Horizon Zero Dawn, that is 75% off. So it's like $12.50 on Steam right now.
All right. And in TTRPG news, are you a world builder? Chaosium is running a basic role-playing design challenge with their open gaming D100 license. And let's be honest, if you're going to try and label the system as basic BRT, basic role-playing, we're going to add universal and system to it and call it burps.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Nice. Yep. And it's also being released under the ORC Open Retail Creative License. There's more information on Chaosium's blog. Go there and look for Basic Role Playing Design Challenge. Dagenhart is open to public playtesting March 12th. Dagenhart, for those that don't know, is Daggerheart. I was saying Darrington Press. Daggerheart is from Darrington Press. Take a look at darringtonpress.com/Daggerheart. And it is, for those not in the know, Darrington Press is what the folks from Critical Role have started. Go to, if you want to take a look at the character creation, app/demiplane.com has that for you. Looks really interesting, and it's much more character focused and story driven. And I believe it's on YouTube that has the
Yes.
has lots of great content already to take a listen and watch of.
Yeah, on the Critical Role channel, they did a basic overview of the rules. They did a single character creation with Travis recreating his one of his Critical Role characters, Chetney. Not Chetney. No, I forget. Anyway, and then they did a session 0, and then they did, which they all did their character creation. That's about 2 hours, and then they did a one-shot using those characters as well. So it's a blast. All right. And back in the digital world, in WoW Retail, the 10.2.6 content update arrives March 19th. This is the super secret. We're not telling you what it is. There's no PTR. We're just going to launch it right out the window and hope for the best. Mark your calendar on March 19th when it goes live with a bold new limited time event. You won't want to miss out on the fun. It's important to note that Dragonflight Season 4 will go live several weeks after the release of the 10.2.6 content update. For heroes working towards the Amir Drasil Feats of Strength, you'll need to obtain ahead of the curve Farak the Blazing before Season 4 begins, and the achievement's no longer available to earn. Also, Gusty Tale's favorite holiday, the Trial of Style, will return, and there will be guild runs.
All right. And in WoW Classic news, Kata Beta is out, and several of our raid teams have gotten invites. The state of Kata Beta is pretty bad. At one point, the Goblin starting area, if you aren't a mana user, you can't progress the quest. The troll starting area, one quest mob keeps despawning when you start interacting with them, and you can't go for any further. That being said, the guild continues to do silly things like our dungeon draft. Part 2 was last night. They leveled to level 24 and completed Shadowfang Keep, Black Fathom's Deep, and the Stockades. The team got in a bit of a scuffle, which was interesting, and learning was had. The judges are Tripcleese, Scottade, yes,
Yep.
and McPherson, and they have determined that these races just won't work out for various reasons. So now it's going to be a point system. Finish a dungeon first, you get 1 point. They had the Wheel of Doom, where the judges would spin the wheel and they would do whatever was on it. Oh, that sounds dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
One wheel spin had us turning our keyboard around, putting your mouse in the other hand. One was to remove your belt until after the next boss. Generally, silly things like that. Overall, a great time was had, silliness and fun as well. The next dungeon challenge will be to get to level 29 and expect to do Scarlet Monastery, the Scarlet Monastery Gauntlet. Probably next week, probably a few weeks from now, as I have people dealing with real life commitments for the next few weekends.
Real life
The
commitments?
bubblegum
Those never happen.
commitments. Wow, they should be committed. And Seema says the upside down keyboard was a real struggle. And Max might be stealing that break a deal, spin the wheel for some other game fun nights. And in raid news, or not raid news, kind of, the Bubblegum Unicorns won the challenge this time. Seema's team won this way. They were just a hair faster than Lucy's team. Congrats, folks.
Yep.
And Tet, I'll be right back.
All right. In SOTOR news, 7.4.1 has dropped and the Galactic Season 6 has officially started. During MFN this week, we ran around and accomplished Galactic Season goals as well as Conquest goals. They also had a fun night on Shea Vizsla this past Friday, which was very well attended. Several guildies took advantage of the free character transfers going on there now. We may have a second fun night on Shea Vizsla this month due to there being 5 Fridays in March. Patch 7.4.1 also added in new narrative feature called Date Night, where players can play short scenes with some of their companions to further their stories a bit. They also got something new to collect called Ancient Armaments. These are previously no longer available armor pieces with a chance to drop from just about anything, including out in the world. All right. And while McCullough is dealing with the Guild Kitchen, I'm going to move on to ESO. We have sweet and awesome things going on in the Elder Scroll Online. On June 5th, they will have the new chapter release of Gold Road. Recently, they had the release of 2 new 4-person dungeons last week. And last month, they finished the Tales of Tribute Tournament number 5, and we'll list the final standings at the end. With a lot of help from our faithful guild members, we have the 4 Grandmaster crafting tables loaded up with all 77 craftable sets for use. You just need to visit Kramer 29's primary residence, which also has all 13 Mundus stones and multiple combat dummies to test out builds. Dankinia and Kramer are working on getting multiple events for the 2024 Summer of Love, including a Tales of Tribute 6 and an ESO lore and monster-style D&D one-shot for MFN that week. Kramer also wants to thank those that played in the Tales of Tribute Tournament number 5, which was dominated by Malachi, who steamrolled over the competition on her first tournament win. With 4 other players splitting victories among the field, all of the prize money has been sent out, and look forward to the next tournament during Summer of Love. Here were the final standings. Malachi 8 wins, 2 losses. Denkinia 5-5. DP Roberts 5-5. Bashira 5-5. New Type 5-5, and Kramer was 2-8.
Congrats, folks.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and grab this little bit of Final Fantasy 14 news, and then we'll go from there. All right, Final Fantasy 14. The last major patch before the new X-Pack is Tuesday. New Hatching Tide event begins just this week, and coming up soon is the Final Fantasy 16 crossover event. And in STO news, Monday nights at 10 Eastern is the Fleet Fun Night. Anyone is welcome to join, and they'd love to see people come and try out the game. Fleet Action Report, the video podcast, runs every Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern. The topic of the conversation for this upcoming Thursday will be highlighting the new Tholian Trouble event. They will run both the updated TFOs and give details on how to achieve all the optional objectives. The changes in the year-long event have gone live. Participating in the event from now until December can earn a player 1,500 Lobi, to 100% off Zen store ship coupons, and a free premium ship pack. Either lockbox or premium ships can be chosen. This is a great way to earn some of the best ships and equipment in the game without having to spend a dime on Zen.
And in Lord of the Rings Online, lots of stuff has arrived as Season 9 of the Legendary Reward Track, the Spring Festival, and the Update 39 Arenas of Conflict. This update is largely new instances and a raid in the Umbar area. The raid is currently Tier 1 only. Tier 2 and 3 is expected to hit the live server soon. When the new raid opens up to Tier 3, we'll be running some missions once again to get our characters geared up a little easier. And also, I forgot to mention one thing in our updates that we were doing. I am still playing Final Fantasy XIV. I have been working on the Island Sanctuary. There are 2 mounts that you can get either from the favors that you earn each week, or you can trade in those favors for certificates and save up and just buy the mount with those certificates. It takes 29 weeks if you collect via certificates, but luckily I did the random number generator and it was favorable to me, and I got the mount that you have to get with certificates out of the box earlier than the 29-week window. So I was lucky and now have both mounts. So I'm kind of done with the Island Sanctuary until they come up with the new stuff that they're talking about in patch 7.0. So
awesome. All right. So I have a random question for you.
All right, fire away.
So, all right.
42.
42. Great. Okay. Then what's your skill in that? You need to tell me what skill it is and what your stat is.
Mansplaining.
Okay. Well, the good thing is, unless you're talking about tech, you have a very low mansplaining score. So I appreciate that.
All right. Good.
All right. So what do you feel when the dice in a game, pen and paper style, just don't tell the right story? Don't tell the story that the character is. How do you what do you do with that?
So I actually took that very question to Ben and Ryan over on their D&D podcast.
Oh, cool.
D&D discussions.
Yeah.
And asked them that exact question of as a character and or as a GM, how do you handle the situation where the character is playing their character, telling their story, reacting to the story in their character, and the dice for whatever system you in are basically punishing them. Right. And
Kenny is famous for this.
Yeah, 100%. And so that was the question. So they're I think they're going to take that for one of their topics in an upcoming show.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's and part of it is sometimes you just have to throw the rules out and reward the character. But it's frustrating because and I just heard a timer or a beep in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It's frustrating because like your character was going to make she had a 70% chance to make this roll, and we failed the initial roll, and then we're like, okay, let's see if the dice truly do hate her, and they do. She failed 7 times total.
We were just
Trying-
testing it. I
trying
spent
to
the luck
roll-
because it was too important.
Yeah,
not
trying to roll a 70 or under on a D100.
A D100, yeah.
And 7 times in a row rolled above a 70. Got to the end of the game. Once the game had closed, made the check with no problem. So we're like, okay, obviously while the story's open, the dice, just so I think it's at some point you just have to set the rules aside and reward the player either indirectly or directly, because having a frustrated player over things that are out of their control, because I mean, if we look at like your Star Wars character, the easy solution, well, don't hang out with your wife.
Well, yeah. But honestly, so that particular character has always rolled low when it comes to morality.
100%.
Infamously, there was like 2 different storylines where we like saved thousands of people. She got a net 0.
Yeah.
And we've kind of like played that off as she is somebody with a lot of self-doubt, a lot of personal conflict, always.
Right.
So like that, like we have an in-game reason for it.
But it doesn't make you happy.
No, not at all.
Right.
But like Kinney, for instance, our friend Dan Kinney, she is infamous for rolling low
Mm-hmm.
on things that she shouldn't. It's so, but as a player in a game, you're following the rules as written.
Yeah.
So yes, the DM can say, just roll that again, or lower the DC this one time. But it is always very interesting when the dice definitely, and they can be electronic dice, they can be physical dice, it can be what have you. They just don't tell the story to the character.
Right. Which is, I think, was it, what was the system we were playing where we didn't have dice rolls? It was all the description. Was that the superhero game?
No, City of Mist.
Yeah.
Was it City of Mist? Yeah, City of Mist.
With the cards and the...
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think part of it might be the systems we're playing in, but again, I think it all comes down to the storyteller has to at some point step in and say, this story isn't being told the way we feel it's being told. Because I am not saying failures are bad. Failures.
Oh yeah, you should always. Yeah, failure should always be. Failure is always an option.
Yeah.
But sometimes
But when it's
kind of like yeah. But like Baldur's Gate 3 has a system for that.
Yes.
With the karmic dice.
Right. Exactly. There's a certain point where it's just like, no, you're good.
Eventually, you're going to do okay. Yeah.
Right.
I just something curious as as you and I are getting back into pen and paper more.
Yeah.
Just that question of, and knowing there's a video game out there that has a solution for it.
Right.
How do you do that in pen and paper?
Yeah. Yeah. No, you almost, and I think part of it was like for D&D, you have the inspiration.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So the GM can say that was a really good idea. Take an inspiration for that. And then you can use that inspiration to re-roll when you fail. I know like Call of Cthulhu doesn't really have that.
We have luck. You have luck and you can push the roll.
Right. But like Star Wars doesn't.
No.
Right. Also I was thinking of maybe for that baseline, because you have a force dice pool, whatever dice you've used should add or subtract to your morality roll at the end. So if you're constantly using light side dice,
okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh no. Yeah. So if you use, it does, but only for light, only for dark.
Right.
Because
I think it should for light as well.
Oh Oh, sure.
When you're making
Yeah.
that conscious decision of, I can go dark side on this or I can go light side on this. If you make that conscious decision to say, I'm using light side dice for this activity, that shouldn't be the default. I think that should be the reward.
Interesting. That's an interesting concept. I think I can see where that would work for like a dark side user resisting the dark. I think it's kind of harder because that if you're a force user, should be the default to use. But that's an interesting idea. I like that.
I think it's always a choice.
Yeah.
So, yes, a light side user should use the light, and there are cases where they're going to get penalized for using the dark side. But why?
No, absolutely.
Why don't they get the benefit of using the light side? Why is it always the dark side that has the easy one?
Well, dark side is easy.
Yeah,
that's not.
I know, but
anyway,
but I think
yeah.
if you gave that light side, if you use the light side force pool, you should get those dice added to whatever you roll in the morality roll.
I like that. All right.
I think that would be a solution, not solution, but I think it would be worth discussing with your DM.
All right. So now that we've gotten to the complexities of light side versus dark side and karma and all of that, I think that's about our show for tonight. Chat room, thank you for joining us. You've been a delightful group of distracting freaks, as they say. Go ahead and if you want to start selecting some show titles. I want to say, Ted, thank you for joining me.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining me.
Yes.
All right. If you have a question or comment about our show or a suggestion for light side points, you can email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can find us on the AIE Discord and other non-Twitter social media. We record live with video every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, real life permitting. You can join the chat room and play along with us on our website, aie-guild.org. And look for the link on our Discord server. Look for the link to our Discord server on the same site. For past episodes, you can find them on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/the-AIE podcast. Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul or visit his website, andrewallenmusic.com.
All right, next time, which I think will actually still be in a month because in 2 weeks is Easter, but if our schedule changes, we'll let you know. Yep. We'll be talking to someone about some game. So until then, AIE. Oh, this is Makala. I've messed my line.
This is Tetsemi.
And this has been the AIE Podcast.
Yay!
Yay!
All right.
Yes, thank you, chat room, by the way. I know that we've been really sporadic lately, so we appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight.
Yeah. Unlike, summer is busy for a lot of folks. For us, spring is busy. Winter and spring is very busy.
Yes.
Oh,
and now there were two. Yes.
Perfect, Max.
I was gonna go with two hosts, one show, but I like that one better.
Yes. I like that. Now there are two of them. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. We appreciate it, and we will see you in 4 weeks.
4 weeks, right? Yeah, because Easter is in 2 weeks. I know we're going to your cousins, and I'm sure Mew and Fam are going to be doing stuff.
Yep. So. All right.
Yes, that is absolutely it. That is the title. Thank you, Max.
All right. Talk to you folks later.
Bye guys.